This is a quick mobility and yoga session that is designed to support you through your premenstrual and bleed phases. This is a very soothing, grounding, gentle practice that can be used anytime during your cycle, anytime during the day that you need a little bit of opening, a little bit of stretch, and it promotes that healthy circulation. So that is key during this time in the cycle where we want to avoid energetic stagnation, which can lead to symptoms like cramping or low back pain. This type of practice can help alleviate some of those stuck points. So we're looking to move very smoothly, very slowly throughout. This can help you drop into deeper relaxation, which is a great time to do this during the time in the cycle where we experience less resilience to stress. So we are using this movement as medicine to support our physiology through this transition from very high hormones to our lowest hormone state. So it's a shortened period of time where we experience a very big shift in hormones. So just make sure that you are positioned close to a wall. We'll be using the wall throughout this practice to help get the body into sort of strategic positions to create more stretch. And we will get started. So our first movement, our first position is going to be a downward dog at the wall. So you'll bend the body in half. Make sure your legs are hips width distance apart, gentle bend in the knees, and we're not coming too far down with the hands, just staying in that horizontal plane. We'll start to refine this a bit, stretch back through the hip creases and press through the palms, through the finger pads, really lengthen the spine here. You can pedal out the feet a little bit, just like you would in downward dog on the mat. And then from here, we're going to take the right arm straight down like you're reaching towards the ground. And then we'll simply rotate that arm open and closed. So here I want you to focus on keeping the hips nice and square. Try not to let the hips come along for the ride. What you'll find is that little bit of engagement in the obliques, the transverse abdominis, and that little bit of abdominal massage by kind of recruiting the abs to engage. We're creating that little bit of increased blood flow to the abdomen, to the vital organs. Last one here like this, open and release. We'll switch sides, take your right hand back to the wall, reach your left fingertips down. And again, simply open and close back to center. Reach open, stretch the heart, and close. Hips stay square. Keep pressing with your opposite hand into the wall. And come back down. Reach, open, stretch, and come down. Last one like this. And back to center. Reach your left hand back to the wall. Give a little bit of a press. And then here we're simply going to bend the knees deeply, so come into kind of this modified downward dog, press into the hands, and then re-extend the legs. So here the hands aren't moving, we're just bending the knees, coming onto the toes, stretching the feet, and re-extending the legs. 3 more like this, bend it down, and slowly come up. Bend down, and re-extend the legs. Last one here. Just kind of giving some love to the joints and come back up to your downward dog shape. So the hands are level with the shoulders. You've got that straight spine. And from here, we're going to reach one leg back into warrior 3. Keep the hips nice and square, press into the wall. This is a great way to practice warrior 3 and the mechanics without so much of a balance challenge. So we draw the left hip crease back, the right hip forward if your right leg is extended. Squeeze the inner thighs to the midline. Last big breath and slowly release down. Take your left leg back now. Keep the sacrum nice and level so the hips aren't tipping up or down. Once again, draw the right hip crease back now, left hip forward. Be careful not to collapse into the ribs or the shoulders. Last big breath and slowly release. From here, bring your knees down to the mat, come into a kneeling position. And then we'll slowly lower hips to heels, crawl your hands up the wall, and soften the heart, belly, chest toward the earth. You can let your head hang heavy here for a few moments. Maybe turn the neck side to side, really getting that nice deep stretch in the shoulders. You can even maybe send your gaze up slightly, coming into more of a puppy pose shape. And then we'll slowly come out of this and give your shoulders a little bit of a roll, a little bit of a circle up and down to release some of that deep stretch. And then we're going to position ourselves next to the wall. So you want your body close to the wall where your hips can touch. And then we're going to take the leg that's closest to the wall. For me, this is the right side, so you can position yourself to be on the same side. We're going to take that foot forward into a lunge. So set up the legs so that you have 90-degree bends in both sides, and you can really press the outer thigh, outer hip into the wall. You can get that nice feedback here. We're going to reach both arms up, lift up out of the rib cage. And then here, we'll take your left hand to the inner right knee, take your right hand behind you, and press that palm into the wall. Use your left hand to press into the inner knee, and then resist that by hugging the inner right knee into the left hand. Gaze over your right shoulder, press that palm firmly into the wall, square the hips, and feel this deep twist. This is a little bit of chest opening, a little bit of rotation. And breathe. So see if you can inflate the lungs even though you have this sort of more compressed abdomen in the twist. Can you inhale and expand and create more space in the rib cage? Keep your right hand as it is and just start to square your shoulders to the front so you get that deep chest stretch across the right side. And then from here, we're going to exchange the hands. So we're going to take the right arm up and around, bring the outer edge of your right hand to your right knee. Then we'll take the left arm overhead and side bend. So keep hugging your right knee into your right hand now, and press your left finger pads into the wall as you side bend here. Really anchor down through the back shin. This is aiming to stretch the hip flexors. If you need a little bit more sensation, you can shift that slightly forward until you feel that stretch in the hip flexor. Big breath here, slow breath out. So here we're just looking to ground your energetic body, to kind of create more pathways for energy to flow during this key transition time in the cycle. Come back up through center. We'll slowly start to turn to the wall. Take both knees to the wall now. And you want your thighs pretty close, so as close as is comfortable to that wall. Then we're going to cross the arms in front. Turn your thumbs down, pinky side up. And we're just going to crawl the fingertips apart here. And then add a little bit of gentle pressure by pressing the thighs, belly, chest towards the wall. So we've got this half eagle arm shape, and then press your palms into the wall to stretch the upper back. We'll slowly come out of that, switch the cross of the arms. This time take the backs of the hands to the wall. So thumbs are up, pinkies are down. And again, press the backs of the hands into the wall to stretch the upper back. As you're ready, slowly release the arms. Start to inch your legs a little bit closer to the wall. If you can, make contact with the thighs, belly, even the chest or low ribs. And then we're going to take the hands to the sacrum, start to parallel the feet, press down through the tops of the feet and the shins. And then either with fists or with palms, press into your sacrum, energetically drag the sacrum down, hug the elbows in behind you. Then we're going to press the thighs into the wall to lean up and back, camel pose. If you like, you can tuck the toes and reach for your heels. But again, this need not be your deepest expression. We're just looking to create a little bit of length along the front body. So every inhale, expanding the rib cage, and then exhaling to ground your body. Bring your hands back to the sacrum. If they're on your heels, slowly come out. And then we're going to switch sides. So we'll turn so that your left hip is now aligned with the wall. Step your left foot out in front. Make sure that you have that connection where you can press the outer thigh, outer knee into the wall. Then we'll reach the arms overhead, take your right hand to the inner left knee, press, and then press your left knee back into your hand. Then we'll rotate the left arm around, press the palm into the wall, and really leverage that deeper twist by pressing the finger pads down. Create some activation, a little bit more rotation here, that deeper twist. As you do this, keep pressing the left knee into the right hand. That will create your anchor point that will allow you to rotate more deeply. Again, here, inflating the rib cage as deeply as you can with breath. And exhaling. As you slowly start to square the shoulders, keep your left hand where it is. Feel that deep stretch across the left side of the chest. As best as you can, try not to shrug the left shoulder up. Keep it nice and relaxed. We're not flaring the low ribs. The hip points are lifting up and curling in. And then we'll exchange. So we'll take the left arm up and around. Bring the back of your left hand to your inner left knee. Reach your right arm up and overhead now and side bend. So create that intentional side arc. So you're inflating the right rib cage now. Keep pressing the left knee into the left hand, squaring the shoulders, really rooting down through the right shin. Big breath here. If you need a little more sensation, you can slide a deeper bend into that front knee, getting a little bit more in the hip flexor. And then slowly start to exit that pose. Let your arms come back down. Give a bit of a shimmy and a shake. We'll take your hands to the floor now. Walk to the long edge of your mat. And then we'll start to bring your left leg forward into a lunge. You can have your hands to the inside of that left foot. And then we'll gently start to slide your right knee back towards the wall. So you want, if you can, to have your right shin up the wall, your right knee straight down. It can be helpful to have a little bit of cushion. I've got a nice soft rug under my knee. So just make sure you have a rolled up blanket or a rolled up towel under the knee as needed. Then we're slowly going to come into King Arthur pose. This one, very, very intense. So you might be here for a while, just working into that stretch. But with every breath, maybe expanding a little bit more into that back leg and breathing softly in and out. Letting your body get used to the sensation, adapt to the sensation. And that helps you progress into deeper space, deeper stretch. Last big breath here. And then we'll slowly come into a lizard pose. So both hands to the inside. This time just allowing the left hip to stretch. You might even take it out to the side, coming onto the knife edge of that left foot if that feels good. And then we'll send the left knee back to join the right. Take your left shin up the mat, and then we'll come down onto the belly. From here, I want you to take your forearms out in front of you. So you have your elbows parallel. We're coming into Sphinx pose. And then we'll start to refine it just a little bit. The hips are square and parallel. Press the tops of the feet and the shins towards the wall, into the wall, and then drag your elbows energetically back. You should feel this nice solid stretch through the front line of the body. So from the pubic bone all the way up to your breastbone, to the sternum. Press down into the elbows, maybe circle the head and neck to free any tension in the shoulders. This is a very gentle back bend with a little bit deeper sensation as we use the wall. But it's a great way to massage your abdominal organs, to sort of increase that circulation and blood flow to the abdomen, which ultimately can help promote healthy flow during your menstrual phase. Last big breath here. And slowly, mindfully, we begin to come out. So this time we're keeping your left knee as it is, and we'll step your right foot forward into that lunge. So left knee is at the wall. You can take as much time as you need to adjust, maybe put a cushion under your left knee. And then we'll slowly come up into King Arthur pose on this side. So again, acknowledging any difference you feel from one side to the other, maybe one side a little tighter. And then we're sending the back toward the wall, hugging your left sitting bone toward your left heel. Breathing deeply in and out through the nose. So notice your body's reaction to the initial sensation. Maybe there's a bristling or a tightening. Can you, with the breath, send the signal that everything is okay? We are safe and secure. And then with your exhales, let your body go a little bit deeper. Find a little bit more sensation. From here, we'll take the hands to the inside of the right foot, maybe heel toe the right foot out. You can come onto the knife edge for that deep lizard pose. And then we'll send the right knee to join the left once again, sending the right shin up the wall. This time, lowering onto the belly. You can stay with Sphinx using the forearms on the mat, or if you want a slightly deeper sensation, walk your hands out in the same plane as the shoulders, and then start to play with a little bit of cobra pose. So pressing the shins into the wall, softening the shoulders away from the ears, and allowing the lower back to lengthen. So you can come in and out of this posture here, pressing into the hands if you wish. The key is to keep the legs active. That will help lengthen the lower back. Stretch up through the heart, soften the shoulders away from the ears, and slowly start to come out. We'll press up onto the hands to exit this position. And so you can bring your knees out from the wall, and then we'll transition to a seat. This time, bring your hips to the wall and your back to the wall. So you've got this nice straight upright spine. And then we'll start to cross right ankle over left into a seated figure four. So this one becomes more intense when we have the wall to create that firm container, that firm boundary that we can then move into. So press your back into the wall, use your right elbow to dial that right knee open, flex the right foot, and then slowly over time as we're in this posture, you can heel toe your left heel a little bit closer to your hips. Find the sensation where you are kind of flirting with your intuitive edge, but not overstraining, not pushing, just resting in that sensation, kind of that expansion of the outer hip. This is a great posture to alleviate low back pain by freeing the nerves that come down the backs of the legs. We sort of allow the muscles, the glutes to relax, which can take pressure off the nerves and alleviate that pain that comes in the low back as a result, that referred pain. So we'll slowly switch here, step your right foot down, cross your left ankle over your right knee now. Now we find the deep stretch in the left side. So again, this is a great opportunity to just observe, to take on board the difference from one side to the other. Where you feel more sensation, where you feel a bit tighter. And notice any places where your body tends to naturally grip. So for instance, I feel my hip flexors in the presence of this deep sensation start to grip, start to harden and tighten a little bit. So it's with a deep breath that I can then sort of send that signal that it's okay to let go. It's okay to ease into the stretch. Last big breath here. And then what's coming next will be kind of the cherry on top, the icing on the cake. We'll move into legs up the wall. So as you're ready, unfold your legs, turn to one side. And you want to make sure to keep that connection of your hip to the wall as best as you can. We'll open toward the wall and then send your legs straight up. So you can shimmy and shake, get your hips as close to the wall as you can. Touching is great. And if you need it, you can place a blanket or a rolled up towel, even a little cushion, a little pillow under your sacrum, under your lower back. Nothing too elevated. You want to stay mostly flat here. So then as we're ready, we'll come into a squat. Bring your feet flat onto the wall and hug your heels as close to your body as you can while keeping them wide. And then here we want to aim the pubic bone toward the wall so we get that slight anterior tilt that will deepen the sensation in the groin and inner thighs. And just breathe here. So let this be a very passive activity where you get your body into position and then you just allow yourself to relax. Only when you're ready, start to extend the right leg out long. Keep that heel pressing into the wall and aim to straighten the leg by pressing the back of the right knee toward the wall. So we get this nice broadening across the bowl of the pelvis. And then we'll switch. So bring that right foot to the wall, extend the left leg out long. Press the back of the left knee into the wall and create that separation between the thigh bones, broadening across the bowl of the pelvis. Come back through center now and bring the soles of the feet to touch. Let your knees widen apart. And then here, bring the heels of your hands to the hip creases. Gently press the hip creases toward the wall. This creates a little bit of traction in the lower back. Can free up space. And as we create more space between the bones of the spine, it has this opportunity to intelligently realign. And then we'll slowly take both legs out wide. You can use your hands to your outer legs for support as needed. But again, without any gripping or strain. Let gravity do the work here. You can keep pressing the backs of your knees into the wall. Keep aiming the pubic bone toward the wall. So you have that slight anterior tilt in the pelvis. Let your arms be wherever they feel most natural. So allowing your upper body to completely relax, become heavy. And this is one of the benefits of legs up the wall. As we take the legs above the heart and head, more of the blood rushes to the heart. And with that higher volume, that higher influx of blood to the heart, it signals it to slow down. It knows it doesn't have to pump as hard because it's getting more blood with less effort. And so the net effect is calming. The breath rate slows down. The parasympathetic nervous system comes online. That rest and digest mode that thrives in the absence of stress. It thrives when it feels secure, when it feels safe. Slowly encourage the legs back to center. Bend the knees here. And then we'll take the shape of the legs over to the left, gaze to the right. You can press your feet into the wall if that feels good. It might leverage slightly deeper sensation in the twist. Let your legs be very heavy. Again, this is a passive twist, one where you just receive. And only when you're ready, we'll gently sway the legs to the other side. Send your gaze over your left shoulder now. Finding that nice sensation in the left low back, left hip. And this is a great practice to use in the evenings or anytime you just need a little bit of a reset, a reconnect if you're starting to feel the mind a bit overwhelmed. Come back through center as you're ready. Extend the legs up the wall. Gentle bend in the knees. Just kind of knock the feet in and out. releasing, circling the ankles. And then with a hand to heart, hand to belly, or even with the arms outstretched, we'll be here for a minute or two more and legs up the wall, just to enjoy all the benefits this posture can bring. So allow your eyes to softly close. Allow your awareness to be pulled deeper inward. Invite anything to the surface that might be needing your attention. As we shift into low hormone territory, there's less interference from high hormones. So when we can prepare for these states with movement, this gentle grounding movement, we can take advantage of the clarity that comes. So in the absence of interference from hormones, there's a greater connection between heart and mind. It's a great time for really evaluating anything that might be weighing on you, any decision that you're trying to make. This is a time where your heart and mind can be more connected, more aligned. So as you soften into relaxation here, try not to force any particular pattern of thought, and simply observe what arises. I hope that you will stay in this legs up the wall posture for as long as you need, as long as you can, as long as you like. And for that reason, I'll close our practice together in this position to encourage you to stay a little bit longer if possible. I want to thank you for moving your body today, for showing up during this transition time in your cycle, or perhaps just using this practice to create that deeper connection, to create that sense of grounding and ease. And thank you so much for being here and for letting your body be moved.